honestly that restrictive migration policy is not the answer. We have to create opportunity for safe migration so that we can get people, like if we need certain skills, you provide that, and then the system is open, it's transparent, then you can use that, and instead of having a situation of irregular migrants and issues of human trafficking, because it's also migration gone wrong. So some of these things are becoming very, unfortunately, highly politicized in many countries of the world, and that is also creating the tension and all kinds of xenophobic approach to issues of migrants. We should also know that migration contributes to development, both in the receiving country and also to the countries where they come from. So we have to look at it in a broader perspective, and again, the fact that it's even one of the markers of globalization that we're all part of in the world today.
In the first time in Thailand, how is your spotlight of non-nation labor in Thailand?
My impression of what?
Yes, the spotlight of non-nation labor in Thailand.
The labor exploitation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to make this comment after I've completed the visit, because this is my second day, and I'm still traveling, meeting with stakeholders, and I'm raising a lot of questions around everything. And then by 19th, I'll comfortably and in a substantial manner answer your question.
And this is your priority?
My priority is to end any form of human trafficking, whether labor trafficking, sex trafficking, trafficking.
What is the main problem?
Yeah?
Main problem?
In each place in Thailand?
Yeah, in Thailand.
I wouldn't tell until the end of the mission, because I'm still going around the country and talking to people, gathering evidence, gathering information, and then that will inform me, that will shape my conclusions at the end of the mission.
What's your sector?
Looking back at your previous country visits, what do you say is the main obstacles or challenges that you're faced with as the Special Rapporteur on Trafficking?
There are multitude. Sometimes you see issues around policy challenge in terms of how human trafficking is defined, and the understanding within the country about what is human trafficking and what is not. And sometimes we have also discovered that the problem is about also capacity, lack of capacity on the part of law enforcement agencies to identify victims of human trafficking. Because if you don't identify, especially at the entry point, if you need that opportunity, then a whole lot of things will happen. So it is important that we're able to identify a trafficked person from. So it's a problem because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the tools, no protocol is in place for that. And I've also seen lack of coordination as also a major problem. Coordination among different agencies. So it's good to take a multidisciplinary, multi-sectorial approach in combating human trafficking. But sometimes you see that agencies within government all work separately, and they don't really talk to each other, they don't work together to investigate and successfully prosecute those cases. So it's also a problem. And the issue of lack of cooperation at times between bordering states on the issue of human trafficking. Resources is also a challenge, because service provision in order to assist victims, especially in recovery, rehabilitation and reintegration of victims, they need certain psychosocial support, even shelter, medical, and access to this require resources, and most times the burden is even on the non-governmental organizations to provide for these services. So resources need to be committed to combating human trafficking, and then also dealing with the victims of human trafficking in a humane way.
Now, I know you can't comment on human trafficking in Southeast Asia, but do you have any, can you give us any sense in your office, was Thailand a priority for you? Is Thailand among the worst hubs for human trafficking globally, or how does it rank globally?
I wouldn't I don't rank countries. And,
you're from the UN, I can tell, yeah?
I don't rank countries, and I don't necessarily visit the worst country. Again, and I made this very clear as part of my methodology of work. I would like to visit destination countries, I would like to visit source countries, I would like to visit countries in developed, highly developed, of course, countries that are destination countries, favored countries, also countries that really are the source of the transit countries. So because it's important to have, and then again I have to do regional and geographical balance in those missions. Because I find this issue of human trafficking can be very dynamic. There could be things that happen and it changes a country even from becoming a source to becoming a destination. For example, good economic growth and so many other things, political stability. And it's important to take all this whole range of issues into calculation. And what is important is not about ranking now, because once I'm in a country and fact-finding mission, I will certainly represent effectively what I've seen and make a set of recommendations, and I want to work through with the government to see that those recommendations are implemented.
Those recommendations in your final report, you'll go back to the government. What's the steps there, and are they enforceable in some way?
Yeah, because of course it's a document that is going to be presented to the UN and before all the member countries of the world in the Human Rights Council in Geneva. And then the government, of course, is given opportunity to reply based on that. And then before then, we go back and forth with the report, because we have to, we're not here to surprise. Governments have to be given a copy, advanced copy of this, they read it, and we go back and forth. Sometimes they are happy with it, sometimes they're never, of course, they're never entirely happy with the report. And then we go back and forth on this, and then the report is issued. I'm an independent expert. Once I'm convinced about something, I mean, nobody, it's not like you keep changing. It's something that is evidence-based and is backed up, unless there is clear evidence to nullify that. We usually will stick to those recommendations and then try to follow through. Sometimes we link in government to other UN agencies that will provide technical support in those identified areas of concern. And then again, it really provides a lot of opportunity to improve usually the situation on ground, because I don't think any government, any one government, and from experience and all the missions I've conducted, have got it right. You may be doing well in some aspects, and then there are other aspects where they may not be doing well.
During your visit at the provinces in Thailand, which agency do you have to meet, and what do you have to do there?
The agencies I have to meet?
I mean the local agency in the provinces.
Or in the province.
Which one do you have to meet, and what do you have to do with them?
Similar committees that deal with issues of human trafficking, the local, sometimes also local tourism board, and then when I visit local, then I have to meet with other stakeholders beyond government, because I'm not just going to the provinces to see the government. I'm going to also be looking at shelter services. If there are shelters, of course, I'll see in Bangkok, and I look at the one in the province, see whether there are differences in approach and things, and how those services are provided. I will be able to see the victim, because it's important to really give the victims a voice. And if you don't meet and share with the victims their experiences about these services, about how they were trafficked and what they think should be, then we're not doing the work. So it's important. They are very central to my work. We also meet with the victims. So it's all this range of stakeholders that I'll be meeting, and I'll be observing generally myself the situation.
How about your idea about Thai activism?
Thai what? I didn't get that.
Thai activism.
Oh, the act, yes. No, I don't think it's something like that.
What impact will the primary report have in terms of the Universal Periodic Review of Thailand in October?
Yeah, I mean, it's also good that they have a periodic review also coming after this, because like I said, I will have come up with preliminary observations on Thailand at the end of the mission anyway. So all of this will be taken on again, and after the universal periodic reports, which is also an opportunity for them to really do a comprehensive overview of the situation of human rights in general. And of course, when we're talking of human trafficking is also about human rights of victims. And one we recommend, and I particularly recommend, the human rights centered approach in combating human trafficking. from experience, almost all the UPR and countries examined have given also priority to this issue of human trafficking.
Will you look into the new human trafficking in African women that's down the street here, right? You know, there's quite a lot of African prostitution going on. That people are bringing, I don't know, Nigerian women. You can walk down to Nana Plaza and check it out at night there.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that, but anyway. I'm
Might be something you can do tonight, yeah?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that, so give me details. I'll go and see things for myself.
I'm not an expert on this.
I haven't seen that.
Can I just ask finally, the level of criminality, will you be also examining that the criminal gangs that are involved with the trafficking are becoming more sophisticated and quite influential? Is that an area you also look at?
My task will be to take government into account on what they are doing to prosecute and punish traffickers. And within that, you have to look at the legal and policy framework. You have to look at the cases that have been prosecuted. If they are not in a few of them, why it will be difficult or challenging prosecution of those cases. Are traffickers escaping justice? Are victims getting access to justice? Those are the things that I will pay attention